Welcome to ZOOMERTIMES TV. And here's your host, Anita Finley.
Hello, everybody. This is Anita Finley, and I, of course, love being the host of the ZOOMERTIMES TV interviews. I have the most interesting experts and guests. And before I introduce Roberta Hladek, who is very special, and she's actually the co-founder of the AIM services, the AIM program, I just want to tell you a little bit about something that we're doing. If you are an author and you have any books out there that you want us to produce, we can't produce the book, but if you get them done, and there are lots of companies that'll do it for you if you can't get a major publisher, but once it's done, give us a call and we will do some interviews for you, which are very hard to get. And also we will do a review in our Boomer Times. So just remember that. Contact us at boomertimesfl.com and let us help you get your books publicized. So now we're going to talk to Roberta Hladek, who is such an interesting woman, and she's really seen a lot before all this COVID, and she's actually been she and the founder, the both of them are really into healing technology, and you wonder what that is. Just be very careful when people tell you about certain products you can take or what you could be doing. Make sure that you check their history. And that's why Roberta Hladek is a very important person to us on in our magazine and also on our ZOOMERTIMES TV, because she's the real thing. She's calling in actually from Las Vegas, and she's not in a casino. Las Vegas has other things in casinos. So Roberta, why don't you just share, do maybe an elevator speech so that people can understand I hate to use the word miracle, but it is a miraculous technology. And I'd like you to explain what it is, please.
Oh, well, thank you. What our AIM program is it's a program that works on frequencies. And we all vibrate at a particular level, whether we're healthy or not healthy, we're stressed or we're happy. We all vibrate at these different frequencies. What the AIM program does is it matches our vibrations with the vibrations in a computer that's sending vibrations to us via our photograph. And we match up the negative vibrations and remove them. And what this does is it raises our vibration, our life force. And when our vibration is raised, we're more in tune with the universe and we're more in tune with ourselves. And when we're raised at a higher vibration, or we're vibrating, I should say, at a higher level, then we're able to ward off different things that are coming at us on a daily basis. If we could see the world and the way we live and the molecules and things flying at us, you would be amazed. So what this enables us to do is kind of ward those things off. It doesn't mean that we'll never feel sick or we'll never have a bad day. It just means that those times will be shortened when we're on the AIM program. So we're not as sick as long, possibly. We make better choices. We have more opportunities coming our way because we're in tune with what's going on. It's kind of like if you were driving down the street, you're going to go with the traffic, not against the traffic. So that's kind of, we're going in with the universe. We're vibrating at the same level the universe is vibrating instead of going against the universe, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's well said. I hadn't heard that before, but that does make a lot of sense. And I was going to ask you, so now with COVID and all the other possible, germs and things that they're telling us about, I am sure that being on AIM is a real major assist with all this, isn't it?
Well, definitely, because like I was saying, if our vibration is raised, then we're able to ward off some of this stuff that's being thrown at us on a daily basis. It also keeps us in a more positive way. So we have less valleys and more peaks. So kind of when I first started on the program, I think my vibration was a little up and down, and now I'm more of a level vibration. So that way, when I do come in contact with some of this stuff that's going around, because we're going to come in contact with it. It's all in the air. The wind's blowing. I mean, it's just impossible for us to not be in contact with any of this. But what it means is, does it take us down? Meaning, are we in bed, or do we feel kind of lousy for a couple hours or a day or two, and then we can move on with our lives? But it also goes along with eating correctly, exercising, and taking your vitamins. Those, like everybody says, oh, that's what everybody tells us. Of course, but it should be broadcast, I think, on the news and everything else, things that we can do to help ourselves instead of just being a sitting duck waiting for it to hit us, right? So
you speak a lot of very good, sensible items and issues. I think we have so much politics on the news that if we could maybe just go 50% and just talk now about all the healthy treatments and things that we could do, wouldn't that be a better way?
I believe so, because what it does is it makes us feel more positive. It makes us, the news is negative, no matter what way you want to look at it. There's very rarely do we hear of something positive that someone's doing in the world. And there's a lot of amazing people out there doing terrific things, and we don't hear about it, so I agree with you. If we had a few minutes on the news saying, hey, everybody, eat oranges today, or, let's go walk for 5 minutes. And if it's too hot, like here, it's hot, and we've got this smoke coming in from the fires in California and other states. And it just because we're happen to be downwind, I guess, from it. So it's kind of blowing this way. So we can't really go outside. It's not healthy to go outside and run or do those things. You can walk around in your house. I do it, walk in circles, whatever you got to do. But you can do things to help yourself. Taking vitamins. Vitamins have always helped us. Eating correctly. You may not be able to eat all the organic foods that you want, but you can eat better. Not just, chips and, fast foods. We've got to lessen that, maybe eat, 50% that way, and try and eat 50% a little bit more healthy. And I think we'd all feel better, and we would be more positive. And that's what we need, is we need to raise our vibration. The world needs to raise it, and let's get moving forward.
Roberta, I really like the Olympics. I watched a lot of it. I really did, because that was very positive. It was very exciting. It was, now that's what and I don't know if we have a lot more of that. So I was glad that it was on, even though sometimes, there was, some heartbreak, but most of it was fabulous to see people striving so, and they talked about their lives, and it wasn't easy for a lot of them who won. So, so you're just perfectly right what you do. Well, as you're talking though, why don't you explain to people so that when they're on the AIM program, what are you actually able to do to help them?
Well, it's actually not me doing it, but my job is basically, one of the hats that I wear is researching. And I research different vibrations, different frequencies that I can add to the AIM program. And then as it's transmitting frequencies and vibrations, we as participants on the program can pick or choose those vibrations that we need at the time we need them. So I just try to make as much available and try and be as on top of things as I can to make and enhance the AIM program to be as encompassed with everything that's going on as possible. So I'm trying to make sure that I have everything available to you that you need to raise that vibration.
I see. So, when you think about the people who are now, and I don't want to get into the political part of this, but the people who are not vaccinated for whatever reasons, they do need extra help. Let's say they decide not to do that. Then hopefully they will contact you at the AIM program and then get something else that they can do if they don't want to be vaccinated. So there's always something out there for people if they just, have a positive attitude. And I'm going to back up a minute. Yesterday, we had a wonderful man who is a Chinese monk. He's American, but he's done the whole, all the training, and he's a Taoist. But he talked about paying it forward. And Dan and I were just enthralled with what he did, paying it forward, that made such a difference. We know what paying it forward is. So as you were saying, I think everybody, no matter if you're fighting the whole vaccine situation or you're fighting with someone in your life, just get some positive things in your life. And paying it forward was a wonderful story that he told. And I'm sure in your life, there are things that you've done that you're very generous. And I know you've given a lot of things to people. That makes you feel better than even the gift that was given.
Absolutely. Makes you feel better. I mean, even if you're in the, everybody's going to these coffee houses. So even if you're in the drive-through of that, or a drive-through of a restaurant, maybe you're getting fast food, whatever, sometimes just, making a donation to the person behind you will make a big difference, and it'll make you feel good. And they don't even, a lot of times they don't even know you've done that. But I know I've done that a few times. And I've also, seen, like, this goes back a few years, but there was a man sitting outside of a restaurant that myself and my other half were going into. And we were looking at him, and he had a sign that said, "I'm a veteran, and I need work. I want to work. I don't want handouts. I want a job." And so we started talking to him for a minute. And at that time, if you had like a hill in the back of your house and it had weeds on it, you had to clear it because of the fire hazards and that kind of thing. And he said, "I'd really like to do that, but people are afraid because of, they don't know who I am," that kind of thing. So we told him that we had some friends that needed this work done, and we were going to talk to him about it and have him come down and talk to him, and hopefully he would get hired. And my other half pulled out a $20 bill, and he said, "Here, I want you to go get lunch." And he said, "Oh my God, thank you." And we sort of watched out of the corner of our eye because we didn't want to stare, but he bought like a hamburger and a shake and some French fries. I mean, he was starving. And we felt so good. And we also were able to find some folks that needed work. And we told them about this guy, and they did hire him. So he did get a job. So that just made us feel good, even if we had only a job. But to see someone that actually, we thought of ourselves and we thought, we can spare this. And my other half is super generous. If he sees somebody on the corner that looks like they need help, he's always there to help them. I mean, we've helped people with their cars that have stalled. He's worked on their cars in the street. I mean, he does that stuff all the time. So, and he just feels that he's had people help him in the past. So he feels that he's going to pay it forward and help someone else. So if we all just did some little thing like that,
yes,
he would be a lot better off.
No, I know why you're so positive all the time, because you live with someone like that also. So the two of you, wow, your house, talk about energy. Your house must be revolving all around. But that was a great story.
Sound of drums, but
that was a great story. Well, but let's talk about people. I would very much like all our viewers to go on the internet. It's very easy. It's one of the simplest names, and it's just AIM program, AIM program.com. Go on there and you'll see so much on their website. And the one story that I love is, when people are not artistic, but autistic, or they have Down syndrome, It's people usually turn away or they have comments. They don't see what they could do to help. But here, the AIM program and Roberta and the co-founder and some of the people in their organization, they have helped the people who have autism and Down syndrome, where they have to charge for their program. They don't charge these people, and they have seen results. There's nothing better than that, Roberta. I mean, those people usually are kind of outcasts that people don't seem to care. It's not a very happy situation, especially if you're the parents of one of these, children or people. It's a hard work.
It sure is. And, we have a new thing that I've been doing on our website, and it's called the Featured Testimonial. And what I do is when I get a testimonial from someone, I'll ask them if they mind if I put it up on our website along with a photo of themselves. And we have a new one today, and I'm just go through it real quickly, but it is an autistic little boy. He's from Nigeria, and his dad has had him on the program since 2020. And he's telling us how the dramatic changes that this little boy has come through. And he tells us he wants to play with others. He doesn't vomit after he eats anymore, so he's gaining weight and growing like he should. He runs with both feet equally, whereas before he would run with just one foot and kind of alternate, not run correctly. He's singing. He's starting to sing, and he says his eyes get really big when he's telling him something and he's getting angry about it. So then he can feel what's going on. He says he makes more eye contact with them than he used to, and he brushes his teeth by himself. So he said these might be like little things to someone else's child, but he said to us, this is huge. And he's telling me that he's been really helpful, or had a lot of help from his facilitator, which we've talked about the facilitators before, which they're a person that's like a liaison between EMC Squared, us, the AIM program, and the participant. And our facilitators are second to none. They know a lot about this stuff. They've been on the program, usually most of them, for at least 20 years. So they've been dealing with it, and they've heard just about everything and seen just about everything. So they're very helpful. And that's what he is saying, that he knows that his son is going to overcome this autism and self-heal himself. And he's just beside himself that this little boy is doing so well.
Oh, I can't even close my mouth. That is so exciting. And let me give everyone a phone number in case you want to talk directly now, to Roberta Hladek. The number is 702-944-1801. 702-944-1801. And you can get on the website. There's another name, but it's easier for me to give it to you as aimprogram.com. That's great. Well, how did they find out about you?
Well, he read the book Sanctuary, which is our book.
Just like I did, right?
And that's when he decided that he was going to put his little boy on and see, because he wanted to put him on, and he was happily surprised that he got a free scholarship. So he sends us great articles. I call them articles because he writes so well, and he tells us so much about this little guy, and he's just precious. So he's going to be my featured testimonial up here pretty soon. And you'll see his photograph as well as his testimonial that his dad wrote for him.
Well, if you give it to us, I think Dan could put it underneath maybe where your interview is. I think that would be super. As long as they're allowing you to do that, that would be wonderful, Roberta.
Oh, they would probably be thrilled because they are from Nigeria. That's a long way away.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's what keeps you, that's like 5,000 times pay it forward, even though it's not. It's what a wonderful thing that's happened to him. And because she probably could not maybe have afforded this, but what you did for them, for heaven's sakes, look at that. And I've got goosebumps. That was a beautiful story, Roberta.
Oh, thank you. We have more like that on our website. If you just go to theaimprogram.com and click on testimonials, we even have it alphabetically. So if there's something that you're looking for in there, say autism, you just hit A and all of those will come up. So you can take a look at, see what other people say about us. But it's really amazing, and it's great because, like you said, the autism and Down syndrome are difficult hurdles for these folks to get over. And for their parents and families too, it's really difficult. It takes a lot of patience, and it's expensive for their care and things like that. So if we can make any kind of a change in someone's lives, we're thrilled to help in any way we can.
You're right. It's 7 days, 24 hours a day that you have to provide the help. And sometimes most people don't have the money to have that extra caregiver. They wind up having to do this. And I have found, because I've dealt with Down syndrome children from an organization I was in, they're really precious and sweet, and they're so good. But unless you get to know them and be a part of it, you don't really understand that. And I do have a friend whose sister, she's the caregiver for her sister. They're both, I guess, in their 50s, and she can't leave her sister alone. She always has to have someone there with her, and she tries to take her places and all, but it is a forever caregiving.
Yes, it is. Definitely.
So yeah, I'm glad you're doing this.
Yeah.
So many people have situations that other people have no idea what it's like. That's why just being good and kind to someone, you never know. Just like there was a story that when someone does something that's mean or hateful, you have no idea what they've been through and why they're that way. And maybe the nicer you can be to someone, maybe it'll help them. Maybe they've never had that nice given to them.
Exactly. Very true.
Yeah.
Life
can be hard. And now with this COVID, everything's been thrown out there. And so we have to try to help people as much as we can. And Roberta Hladek and the AIM program it's always been good. But now I think with COVID and people are so stressed, this is the best thing that could happen. And I'm glad that you told us that story. You can do that every time we interview you. Give us another testimonial like this, because it's one thing to say that this helps people, but when you share what you just did, I mean, that's like enormous for somebody.
Yeah, this is really incredible. And his dad, I mean, for a parent, that's gotta make you feel so good to think that, hopefully your son or daughter will be able to be in the mainstream again. And these kids are smart. They just don't have that. They need to be able to facilitate that and to let you know. And a lot of times they don't speak or they act out. There's so many other variables. But if we can send the information to help one other person, we're happy to do it.
How old is he, by the way?
I think I'm looking at his photo and I would say he's probably like 9.
So he's young. He is young.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just precious.
Yeah, and so he sees a difference. I mean, I just can't, even the physical part of it, but his walking is differently. Yeah. It's and hopefully one day they'll figure out what autism is and to try to get it straightened out. But it's a long haul, and there's no vaccine for that. It's just you're born with it, and the parents just sometimes they don't even know the child is autistic, for a while.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Well, it's really always so wonderful to talk to you. I mean, you're so far away in Las Vegas, but we never think Las Vegas for people in business, but there are businesses there, and you have something that's very different. So anyway, I'm going to say goodbye, and I'm going to thank you very much for being with us today.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, take care of yourself. Okay.
Bye.
And I want to take 1 minute and just talk about the Mimi Home Health Care They provide 24-hour services. We were just talking before about somebody that needs care all the time. Well, sometimes the elders need care, and you do need to find somebody. So think of Mimi Home Health Care. It's very important, and their phone number is 561-452-6986. And thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.